More white women nonsense. Let's go back to 1876, when a former slave owner named Lucy Foreman Harley said she was assaulted by two black men, leading to a white paramilitary mob killing as many as 100 black men, which witnesses later said was just an excuse to suppress black voters. In 1898, Rebecca Latimer Felton, who, by the way, was a suffragette and the first female United States senator, called for the lynching of thousands of black men if it meant protecting white women. Her claim sparked a riot that killed 25 black men, but of course, she's remembered as a hero, a progressive icon for women's rights. Fast forward to 1908. Mabel Hallam claimed a black man raped her. Black neighborhoods were burned, black civilians were shot, and elderly black men were lynched. And just 2 weeks later, she admitted she lied. In 1921, all that Sarah Page had to do was scream, and the whole black community was burnt to the ground, killing over 300 black people. This event is known as the...
Although you have said that the white race is doomed and that they are a race of devils, do you make any distinction? Are there any good white people? For example, suppose I were to ask you whom you think is the best white man. Is there any such thing?
Let the Bible answer that. He says, no, not one is good.
The same God didn't make the white man that made us. The white man made just 6,000 years ago, and we was made unlimited. We don't know nothing about any birth record for us. You can't find no history that will give you the birth of the black man. He has always been.
560 million years ago, to be exact, almost. We were a race of beings. We did not start on this planet. We did not come from apes. We came from a level of higher evolution. And we had a genetic code that had 12 strands of DNA activated within it. That 12-strand pattern is called the silicate matrix. And the silicate matrix still remains as a dormant potential within the humans of today.
Yaqub, due to my personal research, which I'll explain later, took 12-year-old girls and kept using albinos to sexually, through sexual reproductive selection, only allowed them to keep having babies by mulattoes until by albinos until the gene got so weak it couldn't heal itself. Because if you study pigmentation, we know that an albino has 0 melanin, a Caucasian has little to none, which means a Caucasian is not an albino. So where did the Caucasian come from? The Caucasian came from a pitch black African who kept having babies by an albino. Then when that baby came out lighter, that one had a baby by the albino. Then that one came out lighter, that one had a baby by the albino. Until it became barely pigmented. And this is proven through what you call the Latino community. No disrespect to y'all, but if you look at most Spanish people, or you turn it to the Spanish channel right now, they look borderline white, but they just have a tinge of melanin that keeps them from being white. Or if you look at an Asian looks borderline white, but they have a tinge of pigmentation that keeps them from fully being albino. So this is where this comes from. They kept reproducing and breeding weaker genes until it got to the weakest form of physical manifestation without being a full dead albino. So when it comes to melanin, think of a loading bar. 100% is loaded. So y'all make fun of people who look like this, pitch black. See this black background? You be like, oh, you a black African. Well, guess what? Their gene is at 100 strength, 100%. The white gene is at about 15 to 0%.
Some of the New Age stuff actually teaches that the black people came out of apes. It's like, talk about problems with these guys.
So y'all might not believe me, but some white women are born with tails. I dated 2 white women, and they both had the little marks at the base of their spine right above their butt where they had got those things cut off. When I asked them about those marks, they told me I was born with a little tail and the doctor cut it off when I was born.
Balaji was born with a deformity of his spine, which has caused a lifeless tail to grow out of his back.
That there is no gradual development of humans. I believe that we were manufactured somewhere else. I'll just call it like I see it. The historical record to me looks like that this world we're living on already had basically black people, African Americans in different geographical areas. Then all of a sudden we had Mongolid types in different types of areas. Then all of a sudden we have what we're basically call Cro-Magnon.
Alright, so I've just been out biking for sort of 10 to 20 minutes with wet hair because it's summer now, apparently, and I came back and my hair smells like wet dog, and I don't know why this happens. I've heard it only happens to white people, and I'm pretty sure it's true because I know a lot of white people that smell like this after being outside the entire day. There's something in our hair and in the city air that does this. It just smells like wet dog. So if you know why, please put it in the comments, because this is an interesting scientific thing to research.
We're biologically different. We have more what you would call bone mineral density than any other race. And I hate the word race because that was made up. But other race on here, our teeth are smaller, theirs are bigger, and theirs are more sharp. The hydrochloric acid in our stomach is lesser than theirs. Theirs are more hot, showing you that they can eat and break down more proteins than us. Our hair is non-ether hair. It crinkles and it's kinky and it grows towards the sun. Theirs grow towards the ground. Our melanocytes actually have selenium minerals in it. Theirs have sulfate or sulfur in it. They body have more packed ammonia than we do. And when you see ammonia in a laboratory, if you heat it up, it will freeze cold. But if you freeze it cold, it will go to a boiling temperature. And that's the reason why you can see a lot of Europeans in the middle of the cold running in a tank top and shorts. Or if you see them in, you see them in the summer, they can be fully clothed. That's because how they chemistry react. And then they have these nuclear reactors inside of their cells with the ammonia and the sulfur, where it mixes together in the heat with water, and it gives this canine smell. And that's the reason why they said they smell like a wet dog. This is not derogatory or talking down on them. This is just scientific chemistry that's going on with inside of their biology.
All right, have a nice day.
Now look at this. This is from animals that share DNA sequences, okay, with people. Now look at this. Look at this shit. Look at this shit. 98% of the DNA is they share with monkeys. Let's go to dogs. 84% of the DNA is they share with dogs. 90% is with the mouse, huh? And then they got 65% with the goddamn chicken, huh? And then when a motherfucker say it smell like wet dog, then you think somebody being racist? Ain't nobody being fucking racist, huh? Look, it's the same fucking hair follicles, huh? Look. When a nigga say, motherfuckers been calling us monkeys for goddamn 1,000 years. Bitch, I don't look at my motherfucking lips. Look at my motherfucking lips. Them ain't my motherfucking lips. Look at this. Look at it. And so don't play with me like that. Don't play with me like that. Don't play with me like that. But now with the Caucasian not having no soul, you have to understand, in order to possess the cosmic essence, you have to have melanin. A specific component of melanin, being neuromelanin, the one with the N, not the E. Caucasians only have pheomelanin, which is animal melanin. They cannot get above the animal plane conscious level. You see animals kill, a lion will kill you and don't lose no sleep. A gorilla will kill you, don't lose no sleep. A cobra will kill you, don't lose no sleep. The Caucasians don't lose no sleep because they are physically composed of the same melanin phenotype of animals. They do not have the neuromelanin, which is manifested within the neuromelanin nerve tract of the brain that allows you to connect to what you call God, the creator, whatever you identify with God as, and possess a conscience. White people do not have no conscience. Now, why is this important? Because the pineal gland is crucial to the soul. The soul enters the body through the pineal gland. So, if your door is locked, you can't get in your house. 85% of Caucasians have calcified pineal glands, and they also lack neuro and uromelanin. So now, why is this important? 85% of Caucasians have no gland within their brain that allows their soul to enter the body. So there is a level of, let's say, spirit that they can never access. They can never access the higher self. 85% of Caucasians, and I believe the number is way higher, but we're dealing with scientific statistics that they document that can be researched and referenced. 85% of Caucasians cannot, their vehicles cannot intake of soul. They have calcified pineal glands. The door to the body has been shut. And even if they did, they don't have neuromelanin. Neuromelanin is called neuromelanin because it has neurons. It has neurons that allow your thoughts to actually exit through the pineal gland and connect with the realm, the ether realm, non-ether, when you hear people make these statements, or cosmic melanin, and this is how you manifest, this is how you pray, this is how you connect to the Creator. So even if the Caucasian doesn't have a calcified pineal gland, they have no neuromelanin. So their thoughts can't connect to the Creator. They have no cosmic affiliation. They have no cosmic soul. How do we know this as well? Melanin is condensed sunlight. Once the sun vibrates past 800 terahertz, it begins to condensate and combust and become melanin. Just like water goes from gas, liquid to solid, sunlight goes from electricity and magnetism to light to melanin. So why is it important? We are the children of the sun. This is why we can connect to the solar system. This is why we are energized by the solar system and everything in nature. The Caucasian is not a naturally manifested humanoid being. Only Africans are 100% human. Caucasians are 96% human, 4% Neanderthal. They are genetically spliced and engineered.
When we started to have the first interbreeding occurring that led to blue-eyed, white-skinned people. The only people that actually seem to have been generated by the Earth's own evolution is black people. Those are the only racial types that we have on Earth that you don't see in people that come from other planets, and that makes them very special.
What if white people didn't exist? And then I remembered we aren't supposed to exist. Being white is a genetic mutation.
No. Black people, there is a whole grail line, genetic grail line, of very, very high ascended masters that are in black skin form here. They're the same in red skin form, which would come through like Native American or Native North American type Indians.
This is a book called 103 Amazing Facts About the Black Indian of the Western Hemisphere. And oh baby, it's a doozy. You ought to love it. Because as you can see here, it says the black Indian has existed in the Western Hemisphere since time immemorial. And here it says all native and indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, did not and do not have high cheekbones, slanted eyes, reddish copper skin, or straight hair. And as you can see here, it says the native or indigenous people of the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, built pyramids and pyramid mounds, just like the ancient Egyptians. This synonymous comparison of both cultures from opposite sides of the world is because they are both genetically linked. They both are the same people. Wow. And as you can see here, it says the black Asians from the various dynastic Chow and Shang dynasties migrated back into here thousands of years ago and mixed back in with the tribes. And as you can see here, it says the black Indians lived and thrived in the Western Hemisphere during the time of the Ice Age. They occupied the regions of what is now known as Southern North America, Mexico, Central and South America, down by the equator, where it is hot and warm. And as you can see here, it says certain dark-skinned native indigenous to the Western Hemisphere, aka Indians, were given the ultimatum: go to Oklahoma and be Indians on the reservation, or stay where you are and be reclassified as Negroes.
So there's a diversity that's still in the gene code. There is a whole bunch of coding we're carrying in our DNA, and right now, most of us couldn't figure out if we were a human soul in a semi-human body, or if we were Anunnaki or Draconian or what. Because the people who are lizards in human bodies don't know they're lizards.
Hey, can you imagine white folk calling me a racist? That Farrahan is a racist. Wait. How am I a racist? Well, you talk bad about white people. No, white people history talks bad about them.
Well, then, since we have no beginning or no end for the black man, what is your doctrine on the origin of the Caucasian race?
Caucasian is a name given to the quality of the man. It means originally weak bone and stale face, you know. The person have a stale color and his bones are weak and they call him Caucasian. But actually he was made white. This was brought about 6,000 years ago. And a black man, he is the father of the Caucasian race. His name was Yakub. He discovered in the germ of the black man that there were two people. And in studying the germ, he learned to divide the germ. It taken him 600 years to keep marrying this lighter one on to the lighter one until he produced we say they pick up the whole thing. That is pale white. He did it by using the birth control law. Therefore, and we have today now a brown race, yellow race, and a red race, and a white race. And the black is the original. He's the father of them all.
Hey, can you imagine white folk calling me a racist? That Farrahan is a racist. Wait. How am I a racist? Well, you talk bad about white people. No, white people history talks bad about them.
Can think of from way back in the day? I can talk some more about it. Yeah. I can remember when my daddy went to the cotton field to chop cotton. And there's a big old oak tree sitting over on the cotton field. And the boys come out there riding a horse. And he slapped Daddy across the head 2 or 3 times with one of them handhold belts and run him out under the tree. Me and Mama was sitting on the opposite of a tree, and he told us, if you want to stay on my farm, you better get up and get to go to work, or don't you get the hell off of it. I never will forget that. And Daddy worked all that day. We worked all that day, but we went in that night. He cut out the lights on every house that had lights on, and told the people they didn't want to work. They'd sleep in the dark. They won't have no fire. Oh, it was hell back there then. White folks didn't care nothing about no black folks back there in my young days. They was all just like mules, horses, and dogs to the white back in them days. I know they carried my daddy out in the woods and tied rope around his neck and pulled him up by the tree limb, and Daddy stayed there until he passed out. They stood there until Daddy passed out. When Daddy passed out, they let him down. And I guess it's about 10 or 15 minutes before my daddy come back to himself. And when he did that, he told Daddy to get the hell off of his farm and don't come back there. Sorry working, sorry a bitch. So Daddy left there walking that evening about sundown. We didn't. That was on a Monday. We didn't see my daddy, until that next Monday. And that next Monday,
that there is a difference between how black officers operate and white officers operate, because I can tell you this: when I get pulled over by a black officer, I am a whole lot more
More at
calm,
ease.
a whole lot more at ease than if I get pulled off by a white officer. When I get pulled off by a black officer, it's more like I'm getting pulled over by an officer, a cop, right? It's just a cop. He's a black cop. I'm more at ease. But when I get pulled over by a white boy, it's like, I hope this motherfucker ain't the one who got it on his mind.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah.
I got to think. Like, as a black man, and every black man listening to me know what I'm talking about. As a black man, when a white officer, or even these days an Hispanic officer, sometimes pull you over, you got to think, is this the one who got it on his mind? Because some of them come to the police force with that on their mind.
I'm not disagreeing
They
with you.
joining the police office. They're joining the police department so that they can kill black people in particular. That's a reality.
It is.
That is a reality. So, you know, we got two options. White officers should not work in black communities is not enough because they could still kill black people when black people cross that line. As soon as they cross that track, cross that bridge, you know, pass that light, now they're fair game. They're still fair game. So the goal should be to get rid of these police officers who are basically Klan members. They come in and they got a chip on their shoulder when it comes to black people. Think about so many people that you've seen on the internet. I'm sure you're on the internet a lot and you see a lot of comments and stuff that people make. A lot of people make disparaging comments about black people. Those people become police officers, oftentimes. So my point is that it's almost like, it's not almost like, I personally believe that they have decided that, we need to hire these type of cops so that they can harm black people. I think that there is a movement all over America. When you want to be a police officer, oh, you don't like black people? Oh, you come on in. You can be the dumbest bastard in the world.
The so-called American Negro, which are really the lost and found members of the Nation of Islam, the religion of God, which means entire submission to his will, who has been here for 400 years, serving the white man of America well. And now he has become to think in terms of the white man's thinking. He thinks now that he should be part of the white man. He should be, he should share equally in everything the white man has. This kind of ideal brings us to a very serious, I would say, point. It is bound to bring on bloodshed and death. If such thinkings are carried into practice, are forced into practice, it only will mean the slaughter of each other. Because this can't be done like that. We originally didn't have nothing in America, not even our shadow. And I think we should move forward and trying to get ourselves placed back on either somewhere on this earth where we can be alone to ourselves, build whatever civilization we want to build. Let it be free for us to build that type of civilization. If it's digging holes on hillsides or if it's making mud houses in some sluice or some muddy pond. Whatever we like, we should be let alone and do that. And this stops all of this dissatisfaction, death dealing with each other, which is going to end up in a wholesale world thing.